Okay, so tonight's project, can't see it, certainly can't smell it, but I have this lovely odor of completely roached up brakes under here. And when I was driving the truck this morning, there was blue smoke coming out from this side. Wheels seem to be loose now, but I think I got me a bad caliper. So, I'm going to tear it apart, find out what's wrong, and see how much of the brand new parts need to go in. So, setting on a good healthy jack stand, picked up with a big jack. It is pointed downhill, but there's chocks in front of both wheels, so it ain't going nowhere. So, off we go. Work to do. What are we going to tear into today? Tear into that mess. I ain't nothing but solid grace today. Here. Everybody wants to sit on a boat frame, don't they? See what's going on down here. Let's see if that don't see it. Yeah, kind of. We'll move it as we need to. Get the tools out from under my butt, it'll feel better. See if I can noodle my way in under here. Drop this off. See if yonder snap-on ratchet's got enough oomph to get this stuff off of here. I don't remember what size these are. Probably my eyeball does though. All right, Corgan. Yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm replacing the rotor anyway. Alright, let's not be hitting the air line. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what that matters. You can do it. Try the other one. Top two are easy. I like that. Less than impressed, Mr. Snap-on. Well, alrighty. If the little gun don't do it, we'll get the big one. That ain't much. See, this ain't got a little notch to it. Harbor Freight ain't the best, but it'll do the job. Alright. Get them out the way. Warm them up a little bit. Everybody wants to see my butt in the tires. One. joyful. That don't look like the drum I just picked up. No, it don't. Maybe we'll get lucky and it's just a caliper. Well, like most things, the brake rotor I got don't match what I got under here. It's full standard studs. You're going to pull that off. Take that loose. Studs knock out. And you're back into brake drums. I didn't know better. I think everything else is still viable in there, unless that rotor's really warped. Let me get that off. Take a look at it. So, camera down in. So, I gotta rip that guy out. Yeah, it still stinks of burnt brakes in here. I was gonna replace the rotor, but the rotor is completely wrong that I got from them. Why am I not surprised? So I think I'll take that guy off. We'll have a look. I better go check the rotor's the right part. Let's go up here and have a look. You can see from this guy's rotor box is that thick. That ain't nowhere near the 1 foot, 10 inches, whatever it is I'm looking at over there. And this would be caliper in a box. Nice shiny caliper in a box. Dual piston, got the frame. So basically I should be able to jerk the other one off. And I got a new crushable copper washers on there, so that should be relatively straightforward. And Duralast Max pads, so they're supposed to have slippers. Yeah, those things to make it quiet. Grease and big old heavy pads go on it. So I'm guessing I'm not going to be able to do the rotor, and I'm going to have to take that back, and we'll get that thing replaced, because I bet you money that's what's stuck up. One of these two pistons is froze up in the other one. I wonder if that was a single or a double. I'm wondering if any of these parts match. Yeah, it's a double. It looks about the same. I think we'll discombobulate and take the thing apart, and we'll see what we get. Yeah, really lousy camera work, I know. Let's see what I can get for a camera position down here. Brace her up, get her on something she can work on. shining on the object. Get some light on this subject. Alright. So, let's see if that guy will break loose without being a pain. Money bet says no. Let's see what we got here. Now, I am going to take the line loose, brake fluid wise. I am sitting fairly far uphill here, but air will bleed back. No matter what I do, dirt being the enemy, I don't want to get much of it in there. Now, I'm going to wrap that for a second, go get a towel, bungee that thing out the way. Need a little padding for the knees, because the knees are awful. Okay. And we'll take that loose. Break the crushable copper washer loose from there. Same time. Wrap her up. I'm not really trying to do anything fancy with it, I just don't want no crud in it. Okay. Now, these guys are bigger than that. Where are they? Might as well just take the whole thing off. Have joined the world of electric power tools. I gotta do it with the old-fashioned air. Manual air. That's one, and of course it's let that line dangle around. Of course, get up in there. Yeah, one out. Get on the second one. Get your noodly butt down in there. Nope. This guy's fitted. So, gonna need a short extension. See if I can get a better grip on it there. Well, maybe, maybe not. Yeah, not happening. Okie doke. We do it old-fashioned hand tools. Okay. So I can't get in a good position to get a grip on it. Oh yeah, not happening. I guess we're going to the long bar. That's nice. Well, just keep getting tools until it fixes itself. Not really showing the picture much, I think. Trying to get me a set of extendable ratchets so I don't have to fight so hard to do this. Man, it stinks. My. That's being stuck. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Come back one step. Okay. Put some ass in it. You know, if I was awake, I'd remember that was on instead of off. There we go. That should do it. That's what you get for not paying attention to which way the ratchet's set and being dumber than hell. Man, she's still sticky. We're supposed to be Loctite on this, which is why it's so sticky. There we go. All right. bolt number 2. Now what we'll do is pop the sucker out of there. Have a look at what we got. It's good pads, but I'd be willing to bet that sucker's smoked. The rotor feels fine, it just got really hot. Put this thing in neutral, see if that rotates smooth. I'm really tired of that. This will not hold on to glass. Shouldn't be emergency brakes on it. Yes, I mean, it's wrong. Not that here. That's loose. Here. And here. I don't know what we already have. So we're right down. Yeah, it's 20 degrees Celsius. It's not like this. So there we're no, this is a good thing. We're in so obviously. Yeah. That cells will set. There's no room back here, so the electrician will know. Yes, I'll spend them back. They're supposed to be able to do so like that. So that will go in. Good. So, nice. So, bring back. I don't know so. We're going to put the thing on right way. And this bring this down. That's mirror. Again, nobody's looking, so slide will clean. So I'm going to do one way set anyway. A little grease make this one thing on that. But definitely won't be something. Yeah. That's all. Okay. And start that one in and that nut. Then got to be lifted. Don't have to start pushing the fence too far. So we're going to push in there. And then with this guy, and we'll stab a little bit. Let's give it to him. Right where he be. I'm going to go with him. Yeah, he's locked that bill. Let's get on here. What can we see? That really doesn't look like the smartest place to put a camera, somehow. It ain't what I'd call stable, even if it does give a good picture. Alright, be right back. Alright, so if you look at those bolts from the original, you'll see that they have a kind of a blue color to them. I know my hands are shaking, sorry about that. That means the thread locker on them wants to be blue, which will do the job very nicely. And that's what we're going to use. Just a second here. I'm going to kind of tuck this gun into position so that I can use it as a camera stand. Make it possible to see what I'm doing. And I'll turn the light so that it's shining more on what I'm doing. I know it's an LED light, so the spot is very bright where it shines, but at least you can see. So I've got these two holes and the bolts to hold that in there. So I don't need to clean them up. The threads look fine. They're not nasty. I didn't have any fight getting them out. So thread locker in blue. And then we set the frame. The frame will go on here, and we'll get the pads set on them right in a little bit. Okay. I'll fight with them later to get them exactly where they belong, because they're going to just be little bastards about it. Ain't that nice? So we'll set the frame first. Get things started and get them all together. Second bolt here. Thread lockered up. Get through there, get lined up with it. Line it up. Okay. So reverse this and start bringing them in. This one turns, the other one's a little bit crusty. Okay, now that ain't tight enough, I know that. I'm not trying for tight enough yet. I'm going to put the big wrench on it when the time comes. Now, fitting the brake pads up here. Any crud off of them that's there. Okay. I've managed to miss on which way is what here, as usual. Sounder's on the inside, I think, but I'm going to check it. Hold on. The noisemaker should be. Noisemacker's supposed to hit the rotor. Yeah, let's take it away from the bolts. It's chewing up that boot. Okay. I want the little noisemaker dingus away from the boots. So this guy goes on the inside. Push that back, bring it up close, push in a little bit, and she'll lay in there. She's very, very close to that edge, so it's easy to knock off. This one, go in the other side, down at an angle, push it in, get it real close, push up the clip, bang them together. That should be there. This should be fully compressed at the moment, so it should just lay right up on there without any real fuss, even with the brakes full. And of course, it wants to be underneath that there tab. So I need to very gently push it in. Okay, so the spring clips now got a hold of it, so it isn't going to fly nowhere. And the dog ears down at the bottom got a hold of it. So now we fit these little bolts right up where they go. Never, ever, ever want to tighten one bolt without getting all the bolts in. It just isn't good. It'll usually make your life miserable. Stinky mother. Reasonable but not unreasonable torque on that. Yeah, it's got a standard. I just don't know what it is. Been doing it for so many years, I just can't feel the difference. And if I'm not doing it for somebody else, I know to trust my own work. Because most of the times, I haven't had any issues with it. Alright. Now, I want to get them last two bolts torqued down good. I'm going to do that here. Using the long bar. I want them tight. These two matter. They need to be really tight. Sixth of a turn. Cut it out. There you go. That'll go. They ain't going nowhere. Now I need to put this on with the fresh two washers. This is the right way. Little bleed screws up top. Okay, so I'll clean that off. Take the pieces away. Fresh banjo bolt, both fresh crushable washers, thread it in there. This wants to be torqued with great care. Those banjo bolts will break and embarrass you something awful. Okay, socket that don't feel like it. There we go. Getting old sucks. Fingers ain't got the power they used to have. You got to turn it enough to crush the washers good, but without breaking the bolt. It should be right about there. That's nice. Okay. Alright, now, the fun part commences because I need to go get I need to get my suction rig, because instead of having helpers who can compress the brakes here and blow all the air out, I've got to pull the fluid through the lines back here to fill in the caliper. So I will be back right shortly. Okay, so what I need is brake fluid. Gotta overfill the reservoir a little bit, which means we go into the magic cabinet of greasy goop. And we are looking for something labeled wherever. Sounds about right. Go up here, fill the reservoir. So I want that reservoir just about as full as I can get it without being ridiculous. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to suck a lot of that fluid out. So I'm going to overfill it, which will be fine. I'll leave the cap on it lightly. I'm not trying to block it up. I know it moves air. Gotta get rid of the trash. Hi, dog. That's Andy dog. Shag that in the trash can. And let's go play with an interesting little toy combination of things. So, underneath of here, I have this interesting little kit that's made up of two things. You can buy something called a Mighty Vac now, which is an okay vacuum, but it has a couple little problems. The pump is plastic. Now I happen to have that really old Craftsman vacuum pump right there that still works a treat, and we're going to use that right here. So let me reset this so you can see what I'm doing. Make sure I can see it, because it's really up high up here. Yeah. So I'm going to get that connector loose, which should be like 10 millimeter. Yep, it is. Okay. So I'm going to get that wrench on it. I have this tub for collecting fluid and a line that will let me connect to this, so that I'm sucking fluid from that. And then the Mighty Vac is set to plug in the other side of it. So if this is loose, I should be able to begin pulling air out of this beast. And with my luck, come on. If this doesn't work, I gotta go the other route, which is the pressurized route, which is much less pleasant. Oh, that ain't gonna work. We have a split in the line. That pretty much means it don't work. Cut off some dead plastic. Ain't that special? I do have another rig to do this, but it is a lot more complicated to set up, and I don't want to, if I can help it. Alright, there's that. Let me get back up here on this. See if the vac will pull it. Come on, pull some fluid. Doesn't seem to want to. I did not want to use the other one. It's much more work to put on, but it works. Alright, so what should work isn't gonna. Let's get out here and go discover the fun way. I don't like the fun way. It's not fun. We need a tool that's hiding way back in the back. In that white cardboard box up there. You see it says the words power bleeder on it. Well, it surely do that job. Okay. So that one, if I don't recall, I don't know whether that one fits or not. Let's get that cleaned off a little bit. Going up there. Check out the situation. Yeah, it's like walking through a minefield in here. All the crap that's in this place. Okay. Let's hold on a minute here. Have a look at what you're doing down in the hole. Okay. Clean this. I don't think it'll fit. No. I got to do a chain because that's a three-way. Yep. Hang on. Gotta go fix up the other lid. Normally, what I would do is fill the Mighty back up, but mostly what I need, or not, excuse me, the power bleeder, but really all I need is pressure, because I've got plenty of fluid in the reservoir. So this thing, if you look at the underside of it, it's got a hole in it. That hole and that rubber donut are going to line up with the sides here and get dead center on it. The chain will go underneath, and he said come up, except it doesn't seem to wanna. See if it's the long chain I need, or if it's a short chain I can get away with. Turn a couple here, a couple there, pull it up a little bit more. Come on, let go. You little freak. Get up on there. Yeah, it's a pain, but it really works. I got this for bleeding brakes on motorcycles because I read about it and I thought it was really cool. Takes the place of somebody's foot on the brake pedal. So you get this reasonably tight so that rubber will seal against that cap, and then you pressurize. So I've got 15 pounds of pressure on it, as you can see right there. I'm not feeding any fluid, I just got 15 pounds of pressure. I don't need more than about a cupful. I shouldn't drain the system out doing that. So let's go bleed a little brake fluid off. And we'll put it in the drum, because I really don't want to make a mess back here, even though I already started. So, let's put the camera back down, right there, where I can see what I'm doing, and get my little container attached, and then crack it, and there it goes. Clean fluid coming out. See the pressure pushing it through, and I don't see any air bubbles at all. That should basically do it. Although I'll crack it again one more time to be sure. I see clean fluid, no air. That's all I see. Clean fluid, no air. So, that brake bleeder is very, very nice. I tried the simple solution and I just can't get enough vacuum on it. But the brake bleeder pulls it off quick. Takes away a lot of the fun and games. So, sometimes you got tools that just ain't a use. Alright, so everything in there is tight, brakes are bled. This thing's a little bit loose. What I'd really like to do is get in here and put a little bit on the emergency brakes. Gotta remember how to do that because I think it taps up here. It is. I gotta remember which way they go, so I'm probably gonna end up looking that up. I will be back shortly. Ooh, knocked the camera everywhere. Okay, so I'm back again. Now my next fun job is adjusting the brakes on this thing, or the emergency brake, I should say, the e-brake. The problem with this truck is the emergency brake is self-adjusting, but unless you back up all the time, it don't self-adjust. So being able to see the star wheel becomes very important. So I'm going to get some light right down in there on the subject and use this manangled up screwdriver. You gotta see this thing to believe it. It's been adjusted. Craftsman's so good for that. You get tired of using a bent screwdriver, you go to Craftsman and replace it, or you used to. It ain't so much no more. Alright, so I gotta get where I can get an oddball on this, which is not easy. The trick here on the Dodges is the adjustment access port is on the top, which is why you normally want the wheels off to do this. Some people talk about dropping the axle and doing all kinds of other crazy stuff. None of that really is necessary. You just got to get the wheels off. Find the star wheel in the hole. Get a hold of it and tweak her up. Come on, you can do it. I don't want to take it too far, I just want to take it enough. So I want to hear the faintest dragging sound.